Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Zone. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. So, Philip Dwyer is live from Newtonmountkennedy, and he wants people to share it all over social media. So, I've decided to go live and actually share his live stream. So, you're going to be watching a live stream right now, folks, of the events in Newtonmountkennedy. So obviously while he's talking and stuff, I'll give me opinion, but we'll just big screen that now, and hopefully you will be able to see it. Don't do this buffer nonsense. No.
Guys, I said to Derek Dwyer this morning, we had a chat, and I said, Derek, I'm going to go with this, the main part of this campaign. I'm not going to be interested in making these fancy, glossy videos with the likes of Niall Boylan standing outside the Dáil, going into the Dáil for his lunch. He seemed to have a bus load of elderly people behind him in a photo shoot and everything else. You know, best of luck to you, Niall, but I don't see you here. Are you here today? Come up and have a chat. You know, you're not here with the people. My way of campaigning here is to be out in the cold faces with the people, not just talking about them, not just sitting behind a microphone in a studio and pretending you're all about free speech. When, you know, I didn't hear you inviting anyone on. I wasn't invited on, and the lads weren't invited on when we were called out in the Dáil for allegedly lighting fires and starting riots. We had no right to reply from anybody. I wonder why you have to ask these questions. So I say to people, just be careful who you're looking at, who's coming along, who's coming on board. When they feel the wind is blowing in a certain direction, they'll come on and they'll start talking about our talking points, what we've been talking about for years, and they'll look for it then to get in, get a handy seat and a position of maybe a salary or career. I'll just be careful about that. If Niall Boy wants to talk to me, I'll be more than happy to talk to him. But you know, don't be just taken in willy-nilly by anybody who puts their name up on the ballot sheet. Ask the questions. Question everything, guys.
I agree with Philip there.
And
got to be honest,
you know, they weren't
hold on, I'll just turn the volume down here for a second. I actually agree with Philip there. I do believe myself there are some independents or some so-called nationalists that only use these events for their own benefit. But Philip is on the ground all the time, just like Fergus Power, Eric English and Kevin Conway. Those lads are on the ground all the time, and you know the others that are on the ground as well. But he's absolutely right. Unfortunately, there are elements within this movement that are only using events like this for their own political gain. Whereas for people like Philip Dwyer, he's on the ground every day of the week, 7 days a week, all over the country. Same with Fergus Power and others. And he is. Where are these people today? You know, they don't show up. They don't show up when nothing major happens. They're not on the ground with the communities. I've been to Coolock, I've been to the Dublin ones. You know, I didn't go to this one today because the wife has actually gone into the city centre, and I've got the dog here. The dog hasn't been well, but I will be down there at some stage because I want to interview some of the folks down there, because it is important that the people down there themselves get their opinions and their voices across, because mainstream media out there like RTE and Virgin Media News are not actually covering any of this, or they are covering it, but they're putting out a skewed view. They're absolutely lying to the Irish public is what I'm trying to say. And it's important. Philip Dwyer is there, as I said, on the ground, and he records everything and he films everything. I'm the same when I'm at these protests. I film everything. I record everything. You know, because it's important to get that information out there to the Irish public and to the wider community out there. And I just want to say, you know, the past 72 hours on this channel, I've been humbled. I've been absolutely, you know, you have made my day. You have made my day to see the support around the world for our little country, our little island, and to see people actually say fair play to the Irish, because there's this narrative out there, the Irish people are lazy. And that, I have to say, is an untrue narrative, folks. Right? There's this stereotype of Irish people and this narrative of Irish people, and we're not any of those things. What you're seeing here now is what the Irish people are capable of. They will not back down, right? They will not. You heard it yourself. They can be beaten by batons all they want, right? The establishment can do whatever they want to the Irish people. They will keep coming out in force every day. You're not going to stop the Irish people from coming out against this government's policy. And you can use all the bully tactics you want. You can use all the framing tactics you want and come out with fake threats towards the Minister of Justice. No such threat took place. This is all a narrative by the media to make these people out to be absolute the scum. And it's wrong. It's wrong. The Irish people that are concerned, look at them there. Look at them there. I mean, this is absolute. Listen, I've been on marches like this, right? As I said, I would be there today, but I will be going down there along with other nationalists, because what we'll do is we'll be interviewing people and we'll be getting the community's reaction, and we'll be getting those voices. Well, hopefully voices, if they don't want to show their faces, of course people understand that, but you know, I'll try to interview people that are willing to come on camera, and you know, you'll get to hear from the people in these towns, because this is not just happening in Newtonmountkennedy, folks. This is happening all over the country. This is happening all over the country. And these people have been protesting peacefully for 6 weeks. And then the last week, then all of a sudden, apparently they've become violent. No such thing, folks. It's all propaganda. Look at them there. Look at them there. Well, I'll put the sound back on again just to let you hear what's going on.
11,000 watching you now, 11,500. Here we go, small town, Newtonmountkennedy, guys. There's a good 3,000 people here. Population. How you doing? You're well? Thanks. Thank you.
And you notice that there's people there, right? So the media have portrayed Philip Dwyer as this sort of monster, right? And as you can see there, there's actually people walking by him as he's filming this, thanking him for everything that he does. Do not be believing the mainstream media and all of these lefty lunatics that are on social media, right? They're lying to you. These people are here, as I said, on the ground every day of the week. Every day of the week. They do more than the politicians that are actually in power. Now, unfortunately, he is having connection issues, folks, because he's using someone's hotspot to get the live feed out. So what I'll do is, until the live feed comes back, I'll just stop sharing it there for now. And if the live feed comes back, I'll share it again. So I'll just give me opinions while we're talking here. So we've got Oban One. Happy Sunday from Cumbria. Awesome show of solidarity by the villagers. Keep it up, folks. We've got TJWK Media, and he says, hey, welcome. As I said, I've put up a lot of footage. I've tried to give credit where I can, but I've thrown up a lot of footage. I've even thrown up some of my own footage as well from previous places that we were at. We've also threw up a few shorts as well. So I'm going to keep you updated as much as possible. And also all the little clips that I've thrown up so far today. As you probably know, anybody that's been subscribed to the channel now, what I'll do at the end of the night is I'll put all of that footage together and I'll put a nice revolutionary song or whatever song I decide to use, and then I'll put that footage up later on as a kind of end of the night video. So have a look out for that. If you wouldn't mind sharing the channel as well, subscribing, you know, leave a comment. All helps with the algorithm. It helps us get our message out there to everybody else around the world to show, because I don't like this. Listen, as an Irish person, I think you would all be the same. You know, if people are talking about your people in your country and they use stereotypes and narratives that are not true, it does rub you up the wrong way. And I have to say, this was one of the big main reasons why I wanted to do this, because I want to smash that narrative. Irish people are not lazy. Irish people are not what people think, right? That everybody has this idealistic view of Irish people and the country, and it's not true. It's not true. The country is in an awful state. Right, here we go. The footage is back. As I said, you know, I think it's back. Is it back? Is it that saying? Yeah, it's saying live. So we'll share it again. Because as I said, you know, Philip wants to get this out everywhere, and you know, at the end of the day, I will do my bit here on social media. As I said, we will be going down there. There's a big Dublin protest coming up, and there's other stuff coming up as well, and I'll be meeting up. But there you go. We'll put the sound on, see what's being said here. Actually, no, the live stream is over, folks. So we'll see if he's posted another video. So just bear with me for a second, folks. That's his old live stream. See, as I said, he's using someone's hotspot down there because, you know, the internet infrastructure in this country is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the amount of money we're spending on other things when we could be using it to improve the infrastructure of this country and help our youth and do so many good things, you know what I mean? But we don't, well, our Irish government certainly don't think like that, you know what I mean? You know, it kind of baffles me. Right. I think this is the new live stream. Yes, this is the new one now. So he's interviewing people now. So this will I'll shut up now and let him do what he has to do, and I'll let you listen in to what he's actually asking there.
The lads in Dublin 11 says no.
Just give it a second. It's gonna see this the feed might be a bit ropey, so we'll just leave it on the screen there till it comes up. But you know, it's a crazy situation.
40 or 40 men inside.
Oh, there we go.
We were having none of it. One was too many, do you know what I mean? Yourself came out, yourself came out, Phil. Supported us then, as we appreciate it, you highlighted then, we were able to managed to get that place closed after 4 days. Then in August, then in January 2023, we started renovating the place. We then come March, we pitched tents outside, camped outside, and to ensure that no could continue. A couple of months ago, he finally backed down and relented, and he dismantled the place after a group of people going to the
like pure willpower, isn't it? And the community spirit, and united together. Like that's what wins.
That's it, Phil. Do you know what I mean? And say, like, if for argument's sake, up the road there, people, men go in there, women go in there, whoever goes in there, partners go in there. It's not the end of the day. It's only the start of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I say, just because the state put people in there, it's not the end of it. It's not over. It's far from over.
They can be sent home and brought out as quick as they're brought out.
Exactly. They can be sent back home. Do you know what I mean?
Back to their own countries, back to their own women and children.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're coming out of their own countries, start creating a vacuum there. How are they going to rebuild these countries? Do you know what I mean?
instead they want to bring them over here and help destroy ours. Anyway, Stephen, well said. And best of luck in your campaign. Finglas.
So there's another candidate for Finglas Ballymun. So anybody out there that's listening to this stream and is from the Finglas Ballymun area,
okay, guys,
there's a representative there that's running at local level for you.
It's really uplifting to come to something like this. I mean, there's a lot of people on our side, like yourself and others, have struggled to try and get the message and the truth out to the Irish people. You know, I said to one or two others, it feels like it's kind of a pivotal kind of few days, you know, a pivotal moment maybe in the history of the country, even, you know, that
I agree with him. I actually do agree with him. I think this is the tipping point now.
We're making people,
you
know, see the truth of what's going
exactly.
on. And, it's just how are you? Well,
do you know what, guys? I'm gonna admit, right, when I put the two videos.
This is my campaign. It's been out and about at the cold.
Hold on, we let Philip speak there first.
No matter what, no matter if there's a riot going on, no matter if there's a protest going on, no matter if there's peaceful protests getting bullied and pushed around and beaten by corrupt Garda, you know. I'll try to be there as best I can, and this is what to me what the representatives need to do, be out there with the people. No apologies, and just get their thoughts and their feelings out there. You know, so that's it. Get the truth out there. You know, not to gloss around it, not just the hard truths. Some very difficult truths have been happening. Oh, well done. You can't. I'm on live now at the moment. Do you want to talk to me on camera or off camera? On camera. Okay. Come on. What's your name?
Catherine. I was with you up at the Michael Collins. Did you see the man with the yellow on his shoulders? He was interviewed by Kevin, and he said outsiders. Do you remember he said?
I always say avoid. Are you wearing people like that who talk about outsiders?
I said to him today, I just called him out there and said, who are you calling outsiders? Irish men. They're not outsiders. This belongs to the Irish.
I keep saying this. All the groups that are organising against, pushing back against this.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing as well. The leftist narrative and the government's narrative has been, well, it's not locals protesting. It's all of these outsiders coming down to the town. But that was all dispelled. If you watch me footage from the last couple of nights, you will see that has been totally smashed and dispelled. They're not outsiders. They are locals. And the locals over the last couple of days have asked for the people of Ireland to come to their little town and support them because they are a small town. So the people of Ireland have responded and have turned up today. So this narrative that it is in locals, it is. Right, originally what used to happen is the locals didn't want anything to do with Philip Dwyer and other people like that, right? They were actually run out of areas at one stage. Now they're welcomed with open arms, right? Because the communities and the country have realised that the government propaganda, the social media propaganda from all the radical left is all lies. They're starting to see it with their own eyes. See, we would win this tomorrow if RTE and Virgin Media actually did their jobs. If they were proper journalists, proper reporters, and actually gave two craps about the country, this would be over tomorrow. Because you'd have journalists calling out this corruption. But there's people like Philip Dwyer that have been, and they've been vilified, and they've been called far right, they've been called racist, they've been called despicable names. Right? But I have to give it to him. You know, he's there all the time. I mean, I met him at the Customs House protest. He was there filming away. I met him at the ones outside the Dáil as well. He's ever present at these things. Let's see here now.
Absolutely, nearly. The man had to save himself from hitting the deck face down when he was pushed by this tug, I call him. This inspector in the riot squad, and he fought back. He told him, he warned him not to put his hands on him again, and then he defended himself. Dave, fair play to you. In my eyes, you're a brave man. You stood up there to being bullied and being assaulted.
Yeah,
a little bit bruised up, but I can take that. I stood up to a bully. I was always told to stand up to bullies, and just when he pushed me, I just said, turn around, so you're pushing women on the whole society. Don't do it again to me. And when he did, I just done what I had to do. And of course, I got arrested for public order.
You know what I saw too? The theatrics he put on. He actually jumped onto the ground. He was like some kind of Premiership footballer looking for a penalty.
Exactly. He had 3 broken arms and going down on his one knee. So, anyway,
He went down on it. Sorry, but yeah. So respect your bravery and standing up to it, because that's all we need to do: stand up to these bullies.
exactly. And we're not only standing up for the bullies, we're standing up for our town, fighting back for our town. And that's what we're going to do: take back our town. And up for the public.
Dave, fair play to you.
I love that man. That man was beaten, by the way, just to let you know.
2 seconds.
Now, Philip is using his camera setup. I've seen it. It's actually very awkward, but do you know what? He manages to get some great interviews and some great footage. So, you know.
Hopefully that's all right. 14,000 again.
And again, this is a fella that's
absolutely
running.
Fantastic support there and on Twitter, which is, you know, it's the real platform at the moment to get out these live streams by a phone. And I'm really humbled by the amount of people that is sharing this and watching this and supporting this. So, okay. I think I think we'll leave it at that, guys. And just again, remind you, I hate this stuff with the electioneering, self-promotion has to be done, but please, guys, please support us. If we want to make changes here, we have to be able to get into the corridors of power, the belly of the beast, and rattle all their cages. And I guarantee you, that's what the likes of myself, Philip Dwyer, Derek Lloyd in Ireland South. He's Ireland's first leader in the south of Ireland for the EU elections as well, around Mitchelstown. And if you can please support our election campaigns, guys, it's really appreciated. And thanks to everybody who has in the past as well. That's really appreciated. So, yeah, I mean, we have to be able to just do this through elections, first of all, if we can. And God forbid if it has to go another way. Nobody wants to see that. And I leave it there, folks. 14,000 in the chat. Absolutely amazing. And that's after we lost a connection there for a while. So from Philip Dwyer, Ireland's first European candidate. Thanks a million. Thanks everybody for watching.
There you go. Absolutely fantastic. Again, you know, he doesn't like to do it, as he said there, but he had to obviously tell you where he's running for his locals and stuff like that. And he's right. You know, we don't want it to go the other way. And I think everybody knows what I mean by that. We want to do this the proper way, through the proper channels. But I will say this, it's getting harder for people to do that when you got a government and our police force brutalising the people. It doesn't help the situation. Tempers flare, you know, anger rises, and there's no need for it. You know, all the government had to do all along was listen to the Irish people. And if they had to listen to the Irish people, we wouldn't be in this situation. Remember, government is supposed to represent the people that it's voted in for. Now, this government wasn't voted in for. That's the problem. What happened was there was a hung doll, and the two main parties, which swore they'd never work together, decided to form a government with the Greens and other lunatics, right? And that's the government that's been running this country, not mandated by the Irish people, right? And they've done all of this without their consent, right? Without our consent, folks. So it was only going to go so far. Do you know what it was? The Irish government, right, were a person who had a stick, and that person was poking a bear, i.e. the Irish people, with a stick. And what happens when you poke a bear with a stick, folks? Well, you know exactly what happens. The bear retaliates. And this is what's happening now. The Irish people are standing up. And listen, Irish people have been protesting for the last couple of years, right? But the difference is that the government and the media have been able to keep a lid on it, right? And to stop the information from going out international. If it hasn't been for people like Philip Dwyer, others out there, me highlighting it on my other channel before I set up this channel, you know, and there's others out there that I know that have been all over social media, put up their little videos everywhere as well, getting this information. If it wasn't for that, right, none of this would ever get out. But the difference is because this was so big, what happened? The Dublin riots was not the Dublin riots, folks. That was a false flag. I was there that night. I was in the centre of the whole lot of that. And I can tell you now, I saw a lot of suspicious activity. I actually live streamed all of that on X. Now I'll have to try find it. If I can, I'll repost it. But you can't put broadcasts on X on here at the moment, unfortunately. So when I'm able to do that, download it, I'll put that video actually up. Because that was interesting. But you know, they're using heavy-handed tactics now because they want the reaction. They want the Irish people to do something that they wouldn't normally do. So then when they go, then they could say to the people, well, look, they're just a bunch of thugs and lunatics and stuff like that. Now, while we're live, obviously, I'm going to check now, see if there's any more updates. If there's any more live footage, actually, I'm going to throw it up. But it seems to have gone off without a hitch. Which is absolutely brilliant news because, you know, this could have very easily went the other way. Now, there's still probably time for that to happen, unfortunately. We'll have to see how the public order unit conduct themselves. But I just hope that that nothing else happens. We don't look at the bottom line is if this doesn't send a message to the Irish government, right, then nothing else will. Nothing else will. Now, see that clip of your man that was speaking there? Someone's actually clipped that on social media. So I'll just put up his little clip where he was the fella that got beaten up. So I'll put his clip up for you as well later on. I will be throwing up footage, as much footage as I can, and whatever new footage comes about that I haven't thrown up before. And do forgive me if I do pull up some footage that I have thrown up before, but there may be a reason behind that because there's an extra part to it and I've just left all the footage together. Okay? So I just want to just throw that out there because I want to be honest with you guys, you know, if I was there myself, it'd be a different story. Then obviously it'd be all my footage, and you will be getting some footage, my own footage soon because I'll be at a couple of protests myself now coming up. So I'll be there and I'll be throwing up some footage. I'll see if I can go live on YouTube that day. It does be very difficult, got to be honest. Now I've got mobile data, so I'm actually pretty good with the internet. But I'll see if I'm able to somehow live stream on my channel while we're there, so you can get all the speeches, see what's going on, you know, from the very beginning to the end. And trust me, folks, it does be a long day. It does be a long day, but you know what? It does be worth it to catch up with the people, the lovely people that I've met through this movement. Seriously, I've met some of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the world. I'm not messing. And we would never have crossed paths in life, but circumstances have brought a lot of us together. And you know what? I haven't met such a lovely bunch of people. And as I said, this is not a brag, but I do know some of the main players that do be out there in the community time and time again. And I've gotten to speak to them. I've gotten to interview them on X as well. And I tell you, they absolutely love this country and they want to see the best for it. And you know, it's unfair the way they're portrayed by the media, by TDs out there. One in particular, Paul Murphy, you know, People Before Profit. People should Google him. If you don't know who Paul Murphy is, Google him, right? And I'm telling you, you'll never come across a bigger plank, is what I could say without getting into trouble. But this fella has actually used all privilege to name people in this movement because he doesn't like them, because he calls them far right and racist, right? And they're far from it. I've met these people and they're lovely people. They're concerned about their communities. They're concerned in the direction the country is going in. And you know what? We all share that concern because, as I said earlier, this is a government that was not voted in by the people of Ireland, was not mandated by the people of Ireland to represent them. And it's absolutely disgusting what they've done to this country. You know, it breaks my heart. I always thought, you know, that Ireland would be immune and maybe immune to all this bullshit, right? And maybe I was naive, right? But I thought just Irish people with their history and everything we've been through, where politicians are not that fucking stupid. But clearly they are. Clearly they are. And that just, you know, that's it then. You know, we just have to do everything in our power now to make sure that they're not re-elected. Because I tell you, if it manages to happen, which I doubt, but if it manages to happen, you know, I'll be absolutely heartbroken and this country will be gone. It's gone. It'll be finished. Game over. So that's why things like this are important. But the government and the Gardaí and the public order unit showed their hand the other day, and they were even training for this, folks. I put up a photograph. I've been trying to use all of the parts of YouTube that you can use. So in the community post, I've been posting up some photographs. I've been throwing up some shorts as well, and obviously I've been throwing up videos and doing some live streams as well. So I've been using it all, but again, you know, we've seen that this government is not going to back down, and we just have to keep believing and keep fighting and keep doing what we're doing, because we've had the momentum since the referendum anyway, where we defeated the government. I mean, they spent millions and we beat the government. Like, actually, it was a record-breaking defeat for the government in a referendum. It was so bad that our Taoiseach a week later resigned after St. Patrick's Day. Now, I do believe he might have resigned for other reasons, but we won't get into that until something concrete comes out, because you have to be careful nowadays. So just give me a second. I'm just checking here now while we're live, just to see if there's any other live footage out there, or if Philip has gone live again, because sometimes he might go live again if something kicks off, and we're hoping nothing kicks off. No. Do you know what? If it's went off without a hitch, that That is absolutely fantastic. Do you know that? Because it's. I say after the events, even though publicly the minister and Drew Harris have been publicly supporting on Garda Síochána, I think when the images came out that they were actually training for something like this and then deployed those tactics in Newtown, Mount Kennedy, I think this time they made sure that this went off without a hitch. They can't afford another PR disaster, because that's exactly what it will be. It'll be a PR disaster. You do not bully the Irish people. You listen to the Irish people. And if you're not listening to the Irish people, well, then I say, Simon, do the honourable thing. I don't think you have an honourable bone in your body, but you can prove me wrong. Do the honourable thing. Go to President Higgins and formally dissolve the government and call a general election. And let the people decide whether you are good enough to continue the job or not. And if the Irish people vote you in, well then, all right, I'm emigrating, I'm out of here. Right? If that's the way the Irish people want to play it, then I'm out of here. I'm gone. Why should I stay in a country where the Irish people are allowing it to be destroyed? But I doubt that'll happen. I very doubt, actually, I don't doubt it won't happen. The Irish people will vote them out and they'll be gone. They'll be absolutely, listen, those parties will be decimated after the general election. That's why he doesn't want to call one right now. He's hoping to hang out till June, and by June try to repair the damage that he's done. But you see, the thing about it is that, well, you can't repair any damage because you've proven that you're going to continue your policy of unlimited migration, it seems. And now Helen McEntee, I put up a video last night. Helen McEntee is pretending to be tough on migration now. Oh, I'm going to go to the UK government and I'm going to tell them that they're blah, 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 blah. You're going to do no such thing, right? It's all talk, woman, right? You're not even good enough to work in a kitchen, let alone working as Justice Minister of this country. You've put its people in direct danger, right? And the Garda Commissioner, right, is using his police force as a version of the Black and Tans. Simple as that. I'll say it out fucking straight. Right? And we know in our past that Irish collaborators collaborated with the enemy. And this is exactly what's happening. There's collaborators in this country working with the enemy, and he is ought to hang his our heads in shame. He is absolutely do give two craps about the history and the suffering of our people. What yous do is treachery. Anyway, folks, I will keep you up to date as much as I can. Well, when I say as much as I can, I will be keeping you up to date because I'm literally not off my phone right now. So any more videos, I will throw them up. And then look out for that video a little bit later on where I put all the footage together with a little bit of music, you know, just to end the night, you know, show people all the footage, show the world that Ireland is not backing down. And we're not backing down, people. And for all you people out there that have been supporting us internationally, just know we're not going to back down. We're not going to give up this fight. But there's one thing we're going to show the world is how it's done. Because other countries, unfortunately, their people have been slacking out there. We're going to show you how it's done. And then you replicate what the Irish done. And you will win this. Because trust me, this country would be a lot worse if it wasn't for people like Fergus Power, Philip Dwyer, Kevin, Eric English, all of those people out there that have been on the ground that are now running for local, and whether it's local, the general election or European elections. But if it hadn't been for those people inspiring people like myself to get out there and do something about it, we'd be in a worse off position than we are, right? So, you know, I hope what people are seeing happening in Ireland, in Newtonmountkennedy, I hope it inspires you guys out there in other countries to stand up and fight against this, because this is a global issue, folks. It's not just affecting America. It's not just affecting Europe. It's affecting the world, folks. It's a global issue. And the only way that we win it is if we all come together. We all do our parts in our country. We support each other in each country. That's how we win this, folks. So to everybody out there that's fighting the good fight in your country, I say we as Irish people are proud of you. Keep up the good fight. You know, as I said, we're in this together and we're not going to stop until the end result is we win. So what did the protests do? Sweet F all. Well, we always have some negative Nelly coming in. I've seen that you've been putting up some negative comments in the chat as well, being a bit of a downer about it. But listen, protests can have accomplished a lot of things, by the way, because the protests have opened people's eyes. It opened people's eyes so much that when the referendum came along, the Irish government was utterly defeated and embarrassed by a record-breaking defeat. Protests can make a difference. Now, large-scale protests don't always work. I will agree with you, right? But community protests in communities all over this country have had an impact. Some centres or some places that were earmarked for migrants didn't happen because of protests. So yes, they do make a difference, James. Maybe, you know, try to be less cynical or try to be less, you know, negative. But protests throughout history, and if you look throughout human history, protests have worked. So to say protests don't work, they do. They only don't work if you're a lefty radical and you're protesting climate change or you're protesting any of that other nonsense, because people actually know the facts and the science and know that they're talking out of their arses. But protests like this do. I was protesting years ago. Change is fuck all. The vast majority of Irish people are spineless, cowardly sheeple. I disagree with you. And the recent polls and referendum will show you that it isn't the majority of Irish people that are spineless, cowardly, and sheeple, as you would call them. I know what you're actually trying to do here, but it's not going to work. The bottom line is, maybe your generation, when you are protesting, were a bunch of lazy bastards, right? But to throw that at us and to throw it at Irish people now is an actual insult, right? It's an insult, because the bottom line is as I said, these protests have made a difference, right? We places that were earmarked for migrants are no longer happening, right? That wouldn't have happened if people weren't protesting outside these places, right? If we didn't get the public's attention to it, right? And if you look at the latest Red C poll and you look at the referendum result, as I said, you're absolutely wrong on the percentage of Irish people that are sheep in this country. It's the radical left and all their goons, right? And there's not many of them in this country. But unfortunately, what happens in every country, right, and what has happened in America, is that the left infiltrate all of the systems out there, right? Education, government, local level, everywhere. They infiltrate schools, colleges, as I said, everywhere. And then they built up slowly but surely over the years and the decades until they got into a position where a leftist government then got in, i.e. Joe Biden and all his lot. And now look at what's happened. The whole world has gone to shit. That's leftist ideology for you there, right? But the problem is that you are fighting a system, right? They are a minority, but unfortunately it's a minority that has a lot of power. right? And the vast majority of us, unfortunately, are dehumanized. We're put into labels. We're called racist, far right, bigots. Whether you have issues with trans ideology or transphobic, or if you have problem with anything, you know, you're some sort of phobe or you're some sort of ist, right? That's what they do, right? They dehumanize, they separate us, they, and that's exactly what they've done. Black Lives Matter. You know, you had the Me Too movement as well, turned women against men. You had Black Lives Matter that was turning black people against white people. It's all divisive, but it's all lefty ideology. It's all lefty ideology. Right? No, but they just put them somewhere else. Well, most of them are living in Dublin City, up the road from me, James. Right? I know where they are. They're in a tent city in Dublin. And the protests are happening outside Newtonmountkennedy is because those people that are in Dublin are the ones that they want to throw into Newtonmountkennedy. But they'll never go to Newtonmountkennedy. It's not going to happen. Right? And the bottom line is, yeah, you're right. They'll put them somewhere else. But then people will be outside that place. They'll be moved until the government realise that there's only one thing to do. Mass deportations. Right? They're the ones that promised these people the moon and the stars and haven't delivered. So now the government need to clean up their own mess, or we will. We will. The tide is now changing. The sheeple are now understanding that the standing government do not care. Well, I'll give you an example on that, actually. During the referendum, there was a lot of those radical lefties, as I said, that were coming out saying, vote yeah. But then we were seeing a week before the actual referendum, then some of these lefties then were actually questioning the referendum themselves, but didn't want to vote no because they didn't want to be seen to be siding with the far right. Now, if you don't believe me, again, go on to X and you can actually search that, and you will see posts of these lefties actually saying that, right? Even the leftists in this country, right, think that the radical left has gone too far. The change and the tide has completely turned in this country. So we'll keep doing what we're doing. TM says Ireland unfortunately wasn't prepared for the Rwanda policy to pass. The local hotels have been bribed, taking illegals from London. Take getting married and having Catholic babies seriously, says TM. Well, I mean, you know, again, I highlighted this on the live stream that I did. It's at the very start, and I put up some tweets actually last year in relation to migrants coming from the UK going to Northern Ireland and down here, you know, and nobody was paying attention. But yeah, that kind of has sidetracked a little bit. I don't think a lot of people did see that coming, but a few of us did, in fairness. But as I said, the people are awake though. I mean, this narrative, that's why I wanted to do this channel, because I want to dismiss this narrative that, you know, Irish people are sheeple. We've seen, they're not. And I've been there on the ground, as I said. I've been at multiple Dublin rallies, because that's obviously where I'm from. You know, we've been at the Dáil loads of times. We've been at the Customs House. We've been outside the Garden of Remembrance. And every time that we've went, the crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's a lot of people out there, and you'll see it. There was a grandmother. I've put her interview up, and she was talking, and she made the point as well. She says that the Irish people are seeing through the propaganda now. That they're switching off RTE, they're switching off the mainstream media, right? Because they're seeing what's happening in their own towns and villages themselves. And then when they realise that the government is actually lying and the media are actually lying, then they're questioning what else are they lying about. They must be lying about this far right. They must be lying about these people, right? And then what ends up happening is the people that were told to stay away from these communities are being told to come down and support them, and they're greeted with open arms. They're greeted with open arms. So yes, the tide is changing, absolutely. Absolutely. But the majority of the country is awake. It's still, as I said, because the left are in power, we've got a leftist government in power. You know, we got all these leftists in all of the state agencies, as I said, the NGOs, the schools, as I said, everywhere. That's what you're fighting. This is why this is not as easy as people think it is. We've got to get those people out, clear the whole thing out. We've got to clear the whole swamp and then smash down the old foundations and rebuild this country that benefits the people of the island, like, you know, looks after the youth, looks after our old age pensioners, looks after the working class, looks after single mothers as well. You know, we don't do enough. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that we could do to improve lives of our citizens in this country. All we just need is a government that has the will and has the desire to do that. And we haven't had a government to do that ever since I was born. We've got decades and multiple governments have let the Irish people down. This is just not about one government. It's about the whole lot. Ever since the foundation of the Republic of Ireland, right, they haven't done things properly. And this is where it's led us. Bad decision after bad decision, letting the people down. The people always suffer as well, right? And then what even hurts me and annoys me even more then is when you hear people say, well, we should have stayed part of the UK. Are you off your fucking rocker? We'd be better off, some people say. Well, then what was the point of fighting? Do you know what I mean? And this is the reason why Irish people are fighting today. Because we need to honour the legacy of the people that died for this country. Right? We can't let them down. Right? When their test came along and when they followed a certain path and they knew that they probably wouldn't be alive to see this country, right, and how it would develop, right, but they were willing to take that step, and we would be mad and we would be absolutely shameful if we didn't do anything to protect their legacy and protect what they stood for and protected this country and gave me a right today to speak as a proud Irishman. That's what we're doing it for. Shouting at buildings is not fighting. James, what do you want us to do? What would you suggest? You know what? You've come into this chat now and you've just been negative, right? So from your point of view, right, you tell me what the solutions are. What would you do if you were in charge of this movement? What would you do? You let me know, because you seem to have all the answers. You let me know what you would do, right? Because if you think violence is the answer, violence is never the answer, right? We already have a bloody past and a bloody history, right? We don't need to lose any more Irish people when Irish people are already put in direct danger, right? And we've already lost some Irish citizens at the hands of migrants. Okay, so what do you want? Do you want full-blown bloodshed? Is that what you want? Do you want a civil war? Is that what you want? Do you want what? What do you want us to do? Right? Because I can tell you now, that's not going to work either. And why should we be like every other country, right, that does that? Right? We have to be smarter than that. We don't need to be losing any more Irish people. And enough Irish blood has been spilt throughout our history. Right? Too much blood. Well, I tell you, James, if that's what you do want, you're very, very, very stupid. I'm sorry, but violence is never the answer. Listen, Nobody is saying if it comes to that, right? But that should be the last thing on our agenda here, right? We're actually winning right now. Why would we undermine all of that by doing something fucking stupid when we're winning? When we're actually winning. And be under no illusion. People might think here, yeah, no, you're being delusional. We are winning. We're absolutely 100% winning. And we keep winning. And every time that the media throw out the propaganda when another incident happens, less and less people are believing it. People are opening their eyes. Tom Sunshine says, I hate saying this, but seeing what happened in Newtonmountkennedy makes me sick. But it is good for us in the long run, especially the way the Garda have acted, are acting. It's ludicrous and it's madness. I agree. So you think these parasites are going to leave of their own accord? No, we're going to vote them out. We're going to vote them out, and then when we get into power, then every single one of them are getting charged for treason. What more do you want? Like, what more do you want? We have to get in before we can actually make a difference. But you obviously, by the sounds of it, want a full-blown coup. Well, we're not going to do that, okay? Because as I said, enough Irish blood has been spilled. And if that's your attitude, well, you can get the fuck out of here, to be quite honest with you, if you think I'm demented. Right? Get out of here. All you want is violence. You're another one of these gobshites out here that just wants violence, thinks violence is always the answer. Violence is never the answer. We have to be smarter than previous generations, right? Back then, for Michael Collins and all of those lads, you know, they knew that once they did what they did, there was no way back, right? Now, as much as I hate every single TD in that doll, and I hate every single one of them. Even mentioning their names makes me blood boil, right? But the bottom line is they will see justice, right? They will face the Irish people for the crimes that they've committed against this state. But it will be done properly, because we cannot lower ourselves down to that level again. Back then, I would say it was necessary. And it was necessary. But it's not necessary this time. It's never the answer. But as I said, and I don't want anybody thinking here that I won't get out there if it comes to the crunch. I'll be out there with me fellow Irish man and woman doing what we have to do. But what I'm saying is that should be the last thing that anybody even considers. Now, this government is on shaky ground right now. And, you know, there is a general election in June. But I do, and I have said on my previous live streams, if you've watched them, I did say we can't wait till next June, because this country will, the whole dynamic of this country in a year's time will be completely different. And think about it as well, the government will also be pushing through, and I have said, even Simon Harris, they're going to push through the hate speech bill. So which means then, the fact that I've been talking here now, this whole stream in a couple of months' time could be deemed hateful, and the YouTube channel could be taken down. I could even be arrested and charged for things that I've said. Right? So this is why it's an important. I think the general election has to happen ASAP. Right? Originally, when Simon got in, I thought, right, good, okay, I'll give nationalists a chance to get out there, canvass, because they've been, as I said, they've been in the community, so they haven't had much time to do that canvassing. But a lot of them have been canvassing now over the last couple of weeks. I can't listen to this show, Brett. Best of luck, brother. Well, nobody's forcing you to listen. You might look, at the end of the day, you have a different opinion. That's fair enough, but I don't agree with you. So, but we just have to keep doing what we're doing, and you know, Helen McEntee and Drew Harris are the weak links right now, and they're exposing the government to a lot with all of the tactics that they're using. So this is not going to wash well with the Irish people, because the footage has gotten, and the footage everywhere, no matter where it's gone, has gone viral. So it's getting out there now, and there's international YouTubers and accounts out there talking about all of the issues that are happening. So the eye is on this country right now and its people. We must secure all existence of our people and the future of Irish people. We're on one road, says Mick O'Sullivan. Look, as I said, we're heading in the right direction. There's still a lot of challenges that we face. We're not naive. None of us are in the movement are naive. We know exactly that we're going to face more challenging weeks and months ahead. But we're not backing down, and we haven't. That's the thing. People have to realise, no matter what they've thrown at, especially the main people in this movement, no matter what they've thrown at them, they keep coming back, and the crowds keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So they've been at this. They've been at this for a couple of years now with the Gardaí, the public order unit, you know, and the government and the media coming out with their propaganda and their lies. And the crowds have still gotten bigger. Could you imagine if the reporters and the journalists actually did their jobs and reported the truth? Sure, the whole country would be out there. But as I said, there's lefties everywhere. They're in journalism as well. They control they control journalism, so they control the narrative. They're in government, so the government controls everything. And that's what we're fighting. And we've gotten this far, and there's still people out there not satisfied. I mean, we can only do so much. And we don't want their country to end up like other countries, right? Okay, we don't. This fight is the devil versus God. Well, they're definitely Satan, and the Irish people are definitely on the. It's good versus evil. That's exactly what it is. That's the right way to put it. That's what it is. It's good versus evil, folks. And we're not going to stop. We've all got something to lose, you know. We've all got something to gain, and what that is to gain a country that is safe and prosperous for future generations of our people to come. And you know, I was having this conversation with people in the chat that I'm in, and we were discussing, this very topic, and I was saying, I don't really care about me. I don't really care if I don't see the fruits of this, but it's at least I can go to my grave saying that I fought on the side of good and I did me bit, right? And if I didn't see the fruits of that, I didn't really care. I would be happy and safe in the knowledge when I go to my grave that I did everything that I could, just like all of these other people. But then one of the people that's running says to me, do you know what, Noel? We actually will see the fruits of this because we've had the momentum for a long time, which we had. And, I was thinking about this for the last couple of days after that conversation happened, and I was like, do you know what? He actually has a point. I didn't think we'd be this further along than we are. But the fact is, the media don't see. This is what I mean. Because the mainstream media report a certain way, people out there have this belief that Ireland's a lot worse than what it is. Look, the numbers coming into this country don't look great, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that everything is rosy. It's not. Right, the numbers that are coming into here are absolutely disgraceful, and it is horrifying, right? And it is scary. But we are fighting it, and we're out there every day. There's people out there every day, as I said, as well, in different parts of the community doing their thing, supporting the community. There's 24-hour camps all over the place, outside these places that are earmarked and all of this. Right, so there's people out there 24/7, and then there's the main stuff. Then that you have the main protests, and then the smaller local community protests, as I said. And as I said, those people in Newtonmountkennedy were peacefully protesting the last 6 weeks, and then the Gardaí, because the government and the media. And all of these lefty loons have been losing the narrative over the last couple. Since the referendum, they've been losing the narrative. And they haven't liked it. So what they've been doing since, right, it's like a petulant child throwing their toys out of their pram. This is what's happening with the media, the government, and the lefty loons. They're throwing their toys out of their pram, right? And then in response to losing the referendum, just to let fill some years in on what was actually happening, a journalist was in a hotel room painting flags, right, tricolours, right, masked up, and then decided to go and join incite violence at a local protest, a camp that was there outside Coolock, right? A little scuffle broke out and the journalist dropped his phone, right? The phone then revealed that all of the main players that are in this movement that have been calling people far right were on their phone. There was communications between them. There was loads of other stuff, emails exchanged, the whole lot. Now, some of that stuff was released on social media for everybody to see. There's TikTok videos, there's videos on X, there's videos everywhere, right? Okay. Now, he got caught. His phone was lost. He went missing for a couple of days off social media because obviously he was trying. Then he came back. So then when the newspaper or the media outlet that he works for were asked for a comment, this is what their response was. While he was working on a documentary undercover, he wanted to go for his new far-right document or whatever it bleed was, right? A load of bull. He went there with others because the leader of one of these groups that calls out all of the people in their movement was saying, well, I'd love to meet one of these at the Garden of Remembrance so I could tell them exactly how I feel about them. So they went there to incite violence. But the Garden of Remembrance actually protest was called off because a few of us were like getting very suspicious because journalists were asking where it was happening, what time it was happening at. And then we saw a few of these lefties then come out and make threats basically against anybody that turned up at the Garden Remembrance. So we called off the protest. And because we called off the protest, they changed their plan and they decided to go to Coolock and pick on a small camp, right? It was a small camp then, but there was a camp nonetheless, right? They went there and they got kicked out of that area. And then one of them dropped their phone. I didn't even have their phone locked, by the way. And I've kind of figured that out along with other people as well. The reason why the phone wasn't locked was because, you know, they like to take their phones out and being able to get footage straight away. So they don't have the phone screen locked or a PIN code on it because it's quicker to get the video up. Do you know what I mean? The camera up to record your video. So his phone was caught. But look, we also seen St. Patrick's Day, Virgin Media journalists carting migrants back to Dublin after they were kicked out of Dublin because the Irish government didn't want to be embarrassed on St. Patrick's Day. And we saw journalists in this country helping. But they're all left-wing. Go and look at their personal accounts. They're all left-wing. So again, that's what you're fighting. You're fighting the radical left in this country. And it's never that easy. Do you know what I mean? There's been a nationalist movement in this country for a while, but it's only now that it's actually gaining popularity with the public out there, because the public didn't really know about them, because the media won't do their jobs, because the media are all left. We Irish have never quit when the times have been difficult, and we won't quit now either. Communist force goal undermine family values, says Mick O'Sullivan. I agree with you there, mate. Tom says those numbers, you can double them. McAtee afraid to give them to us. She said I don't have them right now, even though she was asked for them months ago. That doesn't look good for her. Well, she's in look, listen, anytime she's asked to show the numbers of people coming in here and all of this, she always, and then when she's asked to comment on, like, she was asked a question about transgender women being allowed in women's prisons, even though, and there's a high profile case here of a male who identifies as trans, who has a terrible reputation and has committed horrible crimes against women, then being allowed to go into it, and she wouldn't even comment on that. Well, I'm not going to comment on any, and that's our answer all the time, by the way, folks. I'm not going to comment on any individual case. Okay, so here's a broader question, Helen, right? Do you think it is okay for a male who now identifies as a female, who has committed crimes against females, be allowed be imprisoned in a women's prison? Simple fucking question, and now there's a simple answer to that question. Okay? It's either yes or no. Right? Simple as that. And she can't even answer that. Sure, half of these gobshites can't even tell you what a woman is nowadays. Yeah, I seen that Welsh teacher. She was given out to Niall. Look, and that's what we're dealing with. And that's the thing that's even more distressing about this, is that the lefties are bringing a load of English lefties over here and people from the UK to do their dirty work for them as well. It's disgraceful. Even now, unfortunately, we have some British people helping with this. I mean, we can't, no matter how long we've moved on as countries, there are still people out there in the UK, unfortunately, that want to harm this country. But what makes it worse is that Irish people out there, the traitors, are actually helping and facilitating this, and are actually the main culprits of this. But that's what's heartbreaking. Our own people are doing this to us. So that's what we're dealing with. Look, we never asked for this. Our people are not racist. We've helped a lot of people throughout our history. The record shows that. All we're saying is now is that the inn is full. And, you know, we've got to close up shop. And as I said on my last live stream, and I want to make this clear, this current government, every person that they have granted citizenship to, and who have, and all of the people that they've allowed to stay in this country by seeking asylum, every single one of those applications should be investigated. And the reason why I say that is because we have seen that now some of these people that were given citizenship in this country are now running in local elections, and that's in election interference as far as I'm concerned. And we have to seriously question that. And this is the only way this current government wins, by the way. And I need people to actually, you know, get this message across, right? If you're a migrant, right, and you're seeking asylum in Ireland, right, and the current government grants you that, and they hand you your passport, and you have your little ceremony, and you're an Irish citizen, you've got a nice little house, a garden, maybe a dog, and a couple of kids, right? Who do you think that migrant is going to vote for? Do you think they're going to vote for Sinn Féin, Social Democrats? You think they're going to vote for any of them? No, they're going to vote for the government that actually gave them the citizenship, right? So if you look at the numbers of the people that have been granted citizenship in this country in the last few years, well, that's Fianna Gael, Fianna Fáil votes right there. So this is why it's important for Irish people. Listen, I checked the register and all. I went out to vote in the referendum. I made sure I was registered and all of that, mate, because they've been taking people off the register, by the way. So make sure that you're still registered. But I would say when it comes to these local elections in June, folks, you know, it's very important that Irish people especially get out there and vote. Because the only way that the current government gets in is if Irish people don't get out there and vote, and all of these migrants, as I said, that have been gifted membership, gifted citizenships by this government, are going to vote for them, right? And if this government gets in again, it's game over for this country. There's only one solution then, and it's the solution that James brought up. But that's the last case scenario, as I said. We don't need to go down that route, but that would be the last case scenario, because that wouldn't be allowed to fly. I write songs. Well, Dave, listen, I mean, you know, I had someone else that came to me as well and said that they wrote some songs. One person in particular said to me they wouldn't mind me using their song for the intro for my channel, but I don't have a proper intro. I haven't made a proper intro because they're paying, but I have to make a proper intro for the channel. But I am putting up some video footage of all of the stuff on Newtonmountkennedy, and if there's a particular song that you would like me to use, if you wouldn't mind me using one of your songs, obviously I'll give you credit at the end of the video. I'll even put the link to where you can get your song in the link description. But if you would like me to use one of your songs for this video that I'm going to throw up tonight, just let me know. Oh, you said the Gobster. Yeah, the Gobster is a British patriot, by the way, folks. I've known the Gobster for about, I think it's about nearly 7 years now, could be. But we met through our mutual love of Doctor Who, the TV show. See, I am a geek, really. You know, and that's what I like to talk about, you know, or that's what I used to like talking about before all this stuff happened with me country. But, you know, again, I had to do something it's me country. You know what I mean? So everything else goes out the fucking window. But that's how I met the Gobster there. He did the same, and now he's actually covering what's happening in his country as well at the moment. The Gobster used one of my songs. You are welcome to use any of mine. I would be chuffed. Yeah, well, if you want to send me a link to where your songs are, mate, just send me a link. I'll put the link in the comment section or something, and I'll try to get it up later. Don't put it in the live chat here because it'll be difficult to go back. So if you want to put it in, and then when I put the video footage together, then I'll see how much video footage I have to put together. And if there's a song that's long enough, that's close enough to it anyway, I will use it. Or maybe I'll have to leave out some of the footage, but I'll do that. I love good sci-fi too. You can use any song off my channel. Please go and have a listen. Well, if it's under Dave Tomo, I'll definitely go and have a look, mate. Yeah, I'll actually subscribe now while we're here. Hold on. And Tom says he'll have a look at your channel as well. There you are there. There you go. I've just subbed to you there, mate. Is this your channel? So you have a song called Obey, Light It Up, No More Heroes, Ignore Alien Orders, Stop Freaking Me Out. Is that you, yeah? You've got a profile picture with a what the fuck with a little head on it. Is that you, yeah? Well, everybody that's listening, that's him. Yeah, so I've subscribed. So everybody that's listening, if you could do us a favor there and check out his old songs there. He says he does songs for Patriots and all of that. So if you're into your old rebel songs and your Patriot songs, go and check out Dave's channel there. I don't mind plugging anybody on this channel, folks. I'm not that type of person, I'll do it on my other channel anyway. But I'll have no issue with plugging anybody. So if you do have anything to plug, obviously, once it's safe to plug, of course, I'm not going to just plug any old thing because I don't want to get into trouble. But if there's any more artists out there or anybody that wants that and highlighted, just let me know, and I'll have no problem with giving you a shout out on screen while we're here live. But look, I'm going to wrap it up there. I do have I do have some couple of things that I'm going to be posting up in a few minutes, and then I'm going to start editing that video together. I'm going to have to listen to Dave's songs now and try see which song. And thanks for that, Dave. And I'll let you know I'll let you know what song I've picked, because I'll write a comment in under that song, and then I'll share the link to the video as well for you, so you can see what video I've done it on and all of that. But look, I really appreciate all the support, as I said. And James, listen, just if you are still listening, I know you kind of had a bit of a go at me, and I had a little bit of a go back, but I'm just a passionate bloke, right? No hard feelings. Life's too feckin' short, as they say. So listen, you mightn't agree with me, and I mightn't agree with you on certain things, but the bottom line is, life's too short. So maybe see you the next time or whatever. And we got Nick in the chat as well. Hey Nick, thanks, and respect to all in the chat and the Irish Zone love. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like the stream, folks, for me. That helps. And if you just want to leave a comment, you're more than welcome. And as I said, Dave, I will let you know when I get that done. As I said, whatever song I choose, I'll put it in the link description with the link to the video anyway. But until the next time, As I said, we'll be on again next week. You know, try to do these daily. I'll be doing my normal live streams unless something else kicks off. And then when I'm at the next meetup, which should be soon, we'll then obviously then have more footage for you guys. But I'll keep you informed as much as I can. You know, I'm just a little cog, you know, doing my bit the best that I can, getting that information out there. That's just me aim here. It's not for personal gain or anything like that. I'm not interested in that. I have my other things. As I said, I've got other channels that I do that for. You know, so this is just to get everybody, you know, keep everybody informed of what's going on and highlighting the issues in this country. And as I said, just before we do leave, I will be bringing guests on at some stage. So we will be bringing on local candidates and stuff like that, and having discussions and debates on this channel as well. So look out for them in the future as well. But just as I said, and I want to say it again because it's absolutely humbled me. I mean, I've been absolutely blown away by the response to all of the videos that I've thrown up, and the support that we've been getting in the comment section has been overwhelming. I have to say, I've been sharing them with other nationalists there, showing everybody what you guys have been saying. And let me just tell you, you've given Irish people a lot of belief and a lot of strength and courage to make them believe that we can continue to do this, because we do have our bad days, of course. You know, it does get us all down at some stage, and you know, seeing comments from people all over the world does give us a lift. So thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. As I said, I will be throwing up other bits of footage, so look out for them. So until tomorrow, until tomorrow, have a good evening and look after yourselves, and I'll talk again soon. Bye bye.